Good morning, grade 2. Good morning, everybody. Today, Tuesday, 2nd of June 2020. Today, we will continue reading comprehension, Mr. Tannen's Tie Trouble. Today, we will learn about the story element. I can identify story elements. I can explain and describe story elements. I can use the story elements to write a summary for the text. First of all, I want to talk about the story elements, what's meant by story elements, and for 2 days I told you the meaning of story elements. Elements of a story: setting, characters, plot, conflict. The setting is the time and place of a story. The characters are the people, animals, or creatures. Plot are series of events that make up a story. Also, in all stories, we have conflict, and it is the main problem or struggle between two people, things, or ideas. But I want to tell you something very important: what's different between the plot and the conflict. The plot are the sequence of events, that what happened first, what happened second, until we will finish the story or the text. But the conflict is the main problem that is happening. Also, we are talking about the setting. The setting is the place, and we describe the story place as if from background, the tone, the mood, everything. And also, we should mention the time in every story because sometimes it has a major part for the story. We should use the five senses in introducing a story. A good setting helps the reader to visualize the place in the story. Also, it gives us a full senses feeling that I can see it and smell it as if I'm living with the characters. Also, I want you to know about the characters. The characters has an important role. Maybe they are people, animal, creatures. For our story, Mr. Tannen's Tie Trouble, I want to tell you that the title and illustrations are doing a very important part in our story, and the colors for the ties, everything in the story give us hints and feelings for what will happen. Also, when you can help another people, you should feel good about it. Now it's our time to read the rest of the story. This is the big day for Mr. Tannen. Why? Mr. Tannen, if you remember, he already sold his 1,000 tie in occasion for the city people who helped him to have money to raise his playground fund. So it's the time for the kids to play in the playground. They were happy and have, if you just look at the picture, from the picture, you can see that everybody was happy. The playground was tied in a giant ribbon made from Mr. Tannen's tie. So the whole people took all ties from Mr. Tannen and make a big ribbon to say thank you for Mr. Tannen. Mrs. Sweet Apple and Mr. Apple were at the microphone. Mr. Tannen, you have taught us all. The more you give, the more you get, said Mrs. Sweet. You have given us a playground. We are giving you back your ties. So the city people give Mr. Tannenback all of his precious ties that he likes them all. They made it in a big ribbon and they want to say thank you for him by giving him back his ties. So this is the aim of doing something good for people. Sometimes you need to say thank you for doing something good. Mr. Tannen and his ties were together again. He slipped on his swing and slide, tie and smile. Wow, he was happy. Why? Because he has tie for all occasions. So now it's time for our questions. I hope that you liked my story. Why did the townspeople use Mr. Tannen's ties to make a ribbon for the new playground? Because they want to show their appreciation and thank you to Mr. Tannen for the new playground. How does Mr. Tannen feel about it? He is happy and excited to see the new playground and his ties. Why do you think the townspeople decide to give Mr. Tannen's back his ties? They know that his ties is so important for him, so they want to please him and say thank you. Why do you think the author used bold, wavy words for the words now open at the bottom of page 33? He always used this wavy way of writing to say that it's excited, maybe to give your attention for it. How does Mr. Tannen feel at the end of the story? He was happy because he is smiling and wearing one of his ties. He has all of his ties back and a new playground for the school. This is your time to challenge yourself. Please, how do the townspeople surprise Mr. Tannen? How does Mr. Apple say that Mr. Tannen has told the townspeople? What do you think this saying means? Here, I want you today to try to make a map for our story. Start with your setting, character, right at the beginning of the story, the middle, the end. Do it in any piece of paper. It's okay for me, but I want you to try to do it by yourself. Also, I have some questions for you. How can helping others make you feel good? What is the problem in the story? What does Mr. Tannen do to help get the playground? All of these questions will help you to write your graphic organizer that it was in the first page. So those questions will help you to do the beginning, the middle, the end, and the setting and the characters for the story. By the end of the story, I want you to say goodbye for me. Thank you all. I want you to open the links down to know the reading, the daily reading for your access. Thank you. Please send to me how do you feel about today's lesson and send to me from 1 to 4 according to Mirzano chart. Thank you. Great to goodbye. See you tomorrow.